comparing two public libraries, the Durango Public Library and the John P. Holt Brentwood Public Library, presented by Nancy Wainick. The Durango Public Library is located in Durango, Colorado. The Durango Public Library in Durango, Colorado was founded in 1889 by the Reading Club of Durango. It was an original Carnegie Library. It was built in 1907 in downtown Durango. The current building opened on December 1st, 2008. The vision of the Durango Public Library is to enrich the community by providing an environment where information abounds, ideas flow, and imagination thrives. The city of Durango encourages equal access for all and discourages all forms of discrimination. Durango, Colorado has a population of 18,588. The largest ethnic groups are Caucasian, American Indian, and Alaska Natives, and Hispanics. It is a rural area settled between the mountains in the southwest corner of Colorado. The median household income is $66,000, and the median property value is $463,000. The John P. Holt Brentwood Public Library is located in Brentwood, Tennessee. The John P. Holt Library began in the 1950s as a circulating library in a drugstore that held 4 shelves of books. It evolved into a bookmobile, a 950 square foot branch in an office building, and today exists in the beautiful building on Concord Road that was built in 1998. The mission of the library is: the library strives to be a vibrant and engaging community center for lifelong learning and the arts. The Brentwood Public Library also encourages equal access for all. The values of the Brentwood Public Library are illumination, connection, synergy, and curator. Brentwood, Tennessee has a population of 42,400. It is a suburban area south of Nashville, Tennessee. The median household income is $168,000 per year, and the median property value is $655,400, making the area quite wealthy in monetary terms. The population is mostly white, with a small portion being Asian, Indian, and of Hispanic origin. Funding for the Durango Public Library is through the Joint Sales Tax Fund of the City of Durango and La Plata County, Colorado. The library has 21 paid employees. The City of Durango furnishes about $2.5 million per year for funding of the library. The Brentwood Public Library is funded by the City of Brentwood property tax. The annual report also states that the Friends of the Library also raise money. The library receives a minimal funding from the Buffalo Valley Regional Library in Columbia, Tennessee. The library has 12 paid employees. The City of Brentwood donated $2.8 million for library funding in 2022. The Friends of the Brentwood Library donated over $90,000 in 2021. Funding from each respective city is almost identical, and yet the Durango Public Library has almost twice as many employees as the Brentwood Library. One can see that volunteers in 2021 were 161 persons in Brentwood that donated over 11,000 service hours. While we do not have a report made available for the Durango Library, and fewer employees at the Brentwood Library, one can see that volunteers must be valued immensely in Brentwood. The Library Advisory Board for the Durango Public Library consists of 5 current members. Each member's term is 3 years. The members are appointed by the City of Durango, 3 are, and 2 are appointed by La Plata County. The Library Advisory Board meets monthly. The Board of Directors for the Brentwood Library is comprised of 7 Brentwood residents who volunteer their time. And then there are other members appointed by the City Commission, 1 representative from the Buffalo River Regional Library in Columbia. They meet monthly, and visitors are always welcome. At one time, there was a Brentwood Library Foundation. They solicited contributions to support the Brentwood Library. They raised over $300,000 and provided furnishings, renovations, and artistic elements for the Brentwood Public Library. In 2018, the foundation was dissolved. There is not a Durango Library Foundation. Here you can see the artistic elements in the children's area at the Brentwood Library that were funded by the foundation. The entrance to the children's area and the entrance to the story room in the children's area. Here we see trees in the picture book area and the exit of the children's area. It is quite beautiful. The Friends of the Durango Public Library sponsor year-round programs for adults, children's, and teens. They provide funding for the annual literary festival, and they fill in the gap when unexpected expenses are not covered by the library budget. One can become a friend of the Durango Library for $10. Here you see winners of the 2021 Friends of the Durango Library Bookmark Contest. The Friends of the Brentwood Public Library sponsor quarterly book sales and operate an online Amazon store. Members of the Friends of the Brentwood Library donate countless hours of volunteer service. One can become a member of the Brentwood Friends of the Library for $20. Here you see a photograph of the Friends of the Brentwood Public Library board and a photograph of the book sale that is held by the Friends of the Library. There are many volunteer opportunities at the Durango Public Library. One must be 17 years old to volunteer. Volunteers must pass a background check and be interviewed by a volunteer coordinator team. The Brentwood Library also has a great volunteer program that includes teens, adults, and interns. A volunteer must be 14 years old. Internships for college and graduate students are available. The Durango Public Library buildings and facilities are quite magnificent. The current building opened in 2008. It is a 42,800 square foot building that is LEED Gold certified. These buildings save money, improve efficiency, lower carbon emissions, and create healthier places for people. They are a critical part of addressing climate change. These are photographs in and around the Durango Library facilities. Many beautiful spaces for patrons and residents of Durango to enjoy. The Durango Public Library shares a physical location with Durango Botanic Gardens. Presently, there is a literary garden being built on site that will feature planting beds, small patios for relaxation and contemplation, and information about a connection between nature and a different genre of literature and storytelling. This garden will reflect literary themes and best practices in water conservation. Each of the garden sections will contain an audio introduction, books or poems to consider in that genre, plant lists and descriptions, and numerous discovery points. The hope is that one will come to appreciate how nature and gardens have inspired writers throughout history and be encouraged to explore new literary horizons. The Brentwood Public Library and Facilities became present at the location it is now in 1998. Here you see photographs in and around the Brentwood Public Library facilities. Many beautiful spaces inside and out for patrons and citizens to enjoy. The youth and teen services at the Durango Public Library are limited at the present time. However, they are increasing as staff and volunteers increase. There are several programs listed on their calendar. We can also find resources for parents of young children on the Durango Public Library website. Also, there are additional resources for youth and teens on the Durango Public Library website for homework and a business resource center. The youth and teen services at the Brentwood Public Library are very well covered. There's a wide variety of offerings. Some are constants on the calendar and others change monthly. There are featured children's programs, special events, spring children's programs, and there are many children and parent resources available on the website. There are also quite a few teen programs listed on the calendar of the Brentwood Public Library. There are many online resources for teens to be able to find assistance with homework, do research, and find literature and get college information on exams, financial aid, and more. There are mental health resources and curated reading lists. The Brentwood Library catalog is also available online. There are many similarities and differences in the children's and teen services between the Durango and Brentwood Public Libraries. At present, there are more offerings available in person at the Brentwood Public Library. While the offerings for online resources are very similar in scope and range, they each begin with early literacy and end with homework assistance and college prep. It appears that staffing is more abundant in the Brentwood Library for programs and services, and Durango seems to be having a staffing problem. This absolutely affects what they are able to provide. Adult services at the Durango Public Library is very limited at the moment. However, new things seem to be added to the calendar daily. There are wonderful additions, however, for adults at the Durango Public Library. There are book club kits that can be picked up for quick and easy checkout. Each kit contains 6 to 8 copies of a book. They come with a discussion guide and discussion questions. There are also other things to check out from the Durango Public Library, like board games, state park backpacks that contain state park passes, family activities in the backpack. There are Powerhouse Museum passes, and there are bike locks available for those to use while at the library. Durango Public Library has many services that they provide: computers, Wi-Fi, fax, scan, and copy, and all the rest. The adult programs and services at the Brentwood Library are abundant. They're exercise related, game related, art related, hobby related, community related, and special events available. There are also services provided much like those at Durango: computers and internet, scan, print, and copy, notary, tax form assistance, test proctoring, and voter registration. The Brentwood Library website is very easy to navigate, and easy to find adult resources can be located there. As you can see, the Brentwood Public Library has more offerings and opportunities presently. This comes down to budget and staff size. The Brentwood Public Library has a much larger volunteer group while having a smaller staff. Durango has a larger staff but less volunteers. So because the volunteers are more abundant in Brentwood, they have more time for planning and scheduling. Collaboration and consortia at the Durango Public Library. There are numerous databases to explore. As you can see, the list is quite large. Durango also offers interlibrary loan and the Libby app, which has just changed from Overdrive. The Durango Public Library is a member of the Colorado Library Consortium, and it provides vision, mission, and core values for the public libraries in Colorado. At the Brentwood Public Library, consortia and collaboration is very abundant as well. There are many databases to explore. As you can see, the list is quite extensive. Brentwood Public Library also offers interlibrary loan. The Brentwood Public Library is a member of the Buffalo River Regional Valley Library Resource. It is a resource for public libraries in Tennessee. The Brentwood Public Library is also a member of the 10-Share Consortia. It helps libraries deliver efficient, effective library services through group purchasing power and innovative resource sharing projects. Brentwood patrons also have many options for streaming and apps available on their website. As we compare and contrast the collaborations, consortia, and offerings, we see that the Brentwood and Durango Public Libraries both have quite extensive lists of databases and collaborative networks. Their lists both seem to be indicative of the needs of patrons and the interests of patrons. While they have many similarities, there are many different links that show a difference in education and financial resources. They both participate in interlibrary loan, which benefit their patrons. Technology abounds at both libraries. Durango offers public Wi-Fi access, public computers. They have many computers available in the library. They also offer print from anywhere mobile print service. Technology abounds at Brentwood Public Library as well, with computers available, Wi-Fi, and hotspots available for borrowing. Brentwood Public Library also has software they use for booking rooms online. They also use WorldCat software. It has been a real pleasure researching these two beautiful libraries. I hope each community, Durango and Brentwood, realizes how wonderful their public libraries are and continues to support them.